What you are about to see is the global first clear of Overlord 8 within World of Kings 2.0. If you don't know already, the gear requirement for this specific dungeon is 230, and for this team, nobody's even 220. So how is it that this team is able to clear this dungeon so easily? Well, first I want to explain something. If you take a closer look, you'll see every time they attack, the word slant appears. Slant, 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 slant. And what that mechanic basically is that if you do not meet the threshold of the gear requirement for this specific dungeon, your damage is essentially drastically decreased. Okay, so if that's the case, how on earth are they able to meet these kind of damage numbers? Well, the interesting thing about the slant mechanic in this game is that dot abilities or damage over time abilities completely ignore the slant mechanic. What this means is that if you play a class that primarily damages with damage over time abilities, you can essentially clear Overlord dungeons that are way over your current gear score. Okay, so which classes can actually do this? Well, unfortunately there aren't very many, but the most prominent classes that can clear this reliably are going to be the Necromancer under the Dark Sage tree, the Flame Singer under the Wizard tree, and the Blade Master under the Rogue tree. These classes primarily damage with damage over time abilities, and so that is why they're able to do this so well. While this video is running, I just want to briefly describe kind of what this team's composition is like. For this specific team, Exy, the Vampire Healer, is 213, Fleune, the Battle Mage, is 209, Frost, one of the Flame Singers, is 215, Adil, the other Flame Singer, is 219, and MrLevi, the Blade Master, is 217. Again, the requirement for this specific dungeon is 230. Okay, so we've talked about the best damaging classes for this, but what about the tank and the healer? Well, for the tank, you can pretty much use any tanking class that you want, but battle mages happen to be the best just because of their inherent defensive stats. Because of these defensive stats, they can more reliably survive if a boss does do, let's say, a one-shot mechanic. And for the healer, vampires are going to be, by and large, the best healers hands down for doing this. And that is for a few reasons. Number one is because of the inherent buffs that they offer the party. They offer a 10% crit buff, which seemingly bypasses the slant mechanic. They offer a 10% haste buff, which is very helpful for damage over time classes, and they also offer a 10% damage buff. In addition to that, vampires have very, let's say, bursty heals that can heal the entire party with one attack in no time at all. And the last thing that makes vampires so good for this is because the healing that they do does not scale with the damage that they do, unlike other classes like, let's say, the Lightbringer. For the Lightbringer, the amount of damage that you deal dictates the amount of healing that goes out. But for the vampire, who also does damage to heal, they can deal 1 damage and still provide the same amount of heals to the entire party. I'm just going to let the rest of this video play through so that you can see exactly how this team was able to take out this Overlord 8 dungeon at a severely lower level than the actual requirement. Thank you very much for my good friend MrLevi who provided me with this footage. Without it, I would not have a first-hand look at just how you were able to clear this dungeon. Much appreciated. If you do enjoy the video, please like it and share it with your friends. Subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time, enjoy your day.